Hi guys, in this video I'm going to teach you this simple top, so let's get into it. Now I'm having my brown paper which I folded into two, which is unfold, and I'm going to take out my measurement, but first of all I'm going to rule a line as my starting point. So that's my shoulder line. So for my shoulder line to my bust, I'm going to mark 10 inches, to my under bust 14, to my waist 16, and to my top length 21 inches. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm going to rule them out. So I'm ruling them out. Sorry. Now I'm ruling my waist and my top length. So now I'm going to label them: my bust, my under bust, my waist, and my top length, and my shoulder line. So now I'm going to divide my cross back by 2, which will give me 7.5, and I'm going to mark my chest line, which is 8 inches, as you see me do. My chest line is 8 inches. I came up from my bust point 2 inches, so that's my chest line. And now I'm going to mark my bust span. My bust span divided by 2, mine is 7 inches, so I'm going to divide by 2, giving me 3.5. That is what I just marked. And for my bust point, I'm going to come down by 1 inches and mark it. And also on my waist measurement, I'm going to take in half an inch on each side and mark my dart. And take half an inch on each side and mark my dart. So that is my dart. And you go back to your shoulder line, and from your shoulder line you're going to drop your shoulder by 1 inch. So I've dropped my shoulder by 1 inch. I'm going to take my neck width 3 inches, and also to my neck depth 6 inches, and I curved it. So now that is my neckline. That is my neckline. So now I'm going to rule out my armhole. And to get a perfect armhole curve, I'm going to, from the corner there, I'm going to measure 1 inch upwards. On the chest I'm going to measure 1 inch, and on the armhole I'm going to measure 1 inch. After, I'm going to divide my shoulder line into 2 and go in by half an inch, and now curve my armhole. I'm using my curve ruler to curve out my armhole. So that is it. Now we'll divide our bust measurement into 4 and add 1.5 inch of allowance to it. So my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch of allowance, come to my waist divided by 4 plus my 1 inch, that allowance. I'm going to mark that one and add my waist, my normal allowance, that is 1.5 inch to it. And I came down to my hip. I came down to my top line. I divided my hip into 4 and added 1.5 inch of allowance to it. So guys, that is all for the pattern. So now I'm cutting it out. Guys, follow it carefully and you get it. And if you watch out to this point, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos each and every Sunday, guys. I'll be posting each and every Sunday. So now let's continue. So now you can see from the picture that one side of my top is off. So that's what you are going to do now. So you are going to come down from your shoulder point downwards by 7 inches and join it to your neck depth and straight to your armhole. You won't join it to the tip of the armhole, but you take it into a little bit middle of the armhole and join it to your neck depth, as you can see me do, and you now cut it off. So simple and easy. And then, to prevent gaping on the neckline, I'm going to take out half an inch from the armhole side. That's what you can see me do. So I took out half an inch, and that is all for my pattern. So now I'm going to put on my fabric. The fabric I'm using is a crepe fabric. So I'm cutting it out on my crepe fabric. So when you come to my hemline, I just wanted it to give me some curvy, the line I'm drawing now, I just wanted it to give me some curvy look. So I didn't measure any inches, but I just gauge something and cut it out. So you can leave it like that or do the same I'm doing. And I took out my zip allowance, 1.5 inch of my zip allowance, and also to prevent gaping at the back, I went in on my waistline 1 inch and I cut it out to prevent the back from bulking, yes. So now I cut my back pattern first. So this is it. This is my back pattern. Don't forget to always make sure your lines are straight, and don't forget to always take out the bulky allowance at your zip to make it flat whenever you wear your dress or your top or anything. So now I'm putting my pattern back to my fabric and cut my front pattern, as you can see me do. The first one I cut was my back, so now I'm cutting my front pattern, as you see me do, cutting my front pattern. Yes, so I went ahead to put my back pattern on my front to trace out the hem of my top, the curvy part. So I traced it out by cutting it, and that is it. So now I went ahead to open up my front pattern and place the pattern paper on my fabric, and I cut the one side off away. Guys, I hope you understand. If you don't understand anything, just ask me in the comment section, and I'll be so glad to answer you. Yes, so this is my front, and I went ahead to put my back on my front and also to cut the one side out from my back so that it will be the same as the front, as you can see me do. So simple and easy. Yes, guys. So simple and easy. So now I'm done cutting them out. As you can see, I'm done taking the one side of shoulder part away. So that is it. That's my front, and that's my back. Yep. So I'm trimming some parts off as an excess. So that is so now I'm going ahead to cut out my facing. This is not an African print for me to use a lining. This is a fabric, so I place my front on the fabric, and I traced out the neckline after I went in by 2 inches. I went in by 2 inches to get my facing. I went in by 2 inches to get my facing, and that is it. So now my facing for the front is done. It's done. It's done. And I'm cutting it out. And after, I went ahead to pin it on my front bodice. And I had to pin it on my front bodice. After doing that, you are going to stitch half of an inch on the neckline. I did the same for my back. I place my back pattern on the fabric and I cut out my facing. As you can see me do, I'm tracing out my neckline for the back, tracing out my neckline and taking out 2 inches for my facing. So now I'm marking out 2 inches for my facing. Guys, I hope you are getting me. This video is so self-explanatory. So follow me quietly and listen attentively and you get it. So I'm cutting my facing out. I'm cutting my facing out. Then after, I went ahead to pin it to my back neckline. Went ahead to pin it to my back neckline, as you can see me do. So I cut that side out, and the remaining I use it for the other part of the back neckline, and I pinned it. So guys, I'm pinning it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Guys, I'm done. I'm going to stitch half an inch on the neckline, and don't forget to stop top stitch and iron it neatly. So I'm done now, and I have ironed it down, and it's looking so nice. Making this top, I was so happy because it was coming out so perfect for me. So now I'm going to join the shoulders. So facing is going to face facing, and the main body is going to face the main body. So you take it and stitch. So I went ahead to join the shoulders together. Guys, I'm done, and it's looking so nice and neat. So I pinned it down so that the facing doesn't move about. Yes. So now you see how it's looking so neat and nice. So neat and nice. So this is it. So now I'm going to cut out my sleeves. I already cut it on a brown paper. I marked here 10 inches and the width 8 inches. So I'm going to roll a line in my sleeve and split them out, and now arrange it on my fabric so that I can get the puffy look. And also I labeled it 1 to 8 so that when I'm pinning it on my fabric, I'll be able to know the one which is after the other so that I don't mix them up. So guys, I'm done cutting them out. So I'm going to pin it on my fabric, but first of all, I'm going to fold in 2 inches of allowance, which will be my elastic casing. That is why I'm going to pass my elastic through. So fold in 2 inches of allowance. That's where I'll be passing my elastic through before you pin your papers on the fabric so that it doesn't short. Yes. So I'm going to create a 1 inch interval, 1 inch interval before I put my next paper on. 1 inch interval before I put my next paper on, as you can see me do. So guys, I am done with that, and I left 1/2 inch on top as my sewing allowance. So I'm going to take 2 inches from the 10 inches, and now I'm using it for my second sleeve. That's the off shoulder part. But before that, I'm going to mark a starting point. I'm going to mark a starting point. I'm ruling, which will serve as my starting point. Before I mark my 1.5 inch from my elastic casing for the up part of my sleeve, before I mark 8 inches. Remember, I took 2 inches from the 10 inches. I'll mark my 8 inches, and also to add 1.5 inch for my elastic casing for my arm part. So my sleeves are measured 15 inches. I measured the full sleeve, and I had 15 inches. That's what I used to measure my second sleeve, the width of it, and I had 15 inches. So to get my armhole for my second sleeve, I'm going to take my bodice and put the armhole on the tip of the sleeve and cut it out. So guys, I went ahead to take my dress and took out 1 inch of allowance from my armhole side to prevent gaping, so it can fit properly. And so after doing that, I placed it on my off shoulder armhole, and I cut it out. As you can see me do, I cut it out. So guys, now on the full sleeve, I'm going to pull the goddess and upper part and fold in and create my elastic case by folding in half an inch and 1 inch and fold it for my elastic casing, and I'll be back. So I went ahead to cut my arm elastic 10 inches and my off shoulder elastic. I used my across back measurements divided by 2 to cut my off shoulder elastic, make 7.5 inches. So that's what I did. So now I went ahead to insert my elastic in my elastic casing. I went ahead to insert my elastic, as you can see me do. I'm inserting my elastic. So I went ahead to pull my goddess on my armhole. I went ahead to pull my goddess on my armhole. So guys, after doing the sleeves and everything, fixing in my elastic, I now fixed it on my dress. Guys, I went ahead to pin my sleeves on my armhole, as you can see me do, and I pinned my other sleeves on my other armhole. And I went, after pinning, I went straight to my sewing machine and stitched it. So guys, now I'm done stitching the sleeves, and I went ahead to fix my zipper at the back, and I also went ahead to hem my top. I went in my half an inch twice and I hemmed my top. So now I'm going to take out my measurement. This one, how I took out the measurement was that divided my bust measurement into 2 and marked it, and the remaining allowance I divided by 2 and place half here and place half 2 on the other side. I did the same thing to the waist, divided by 2. The remaining allowance I measured it and divided it by 2 and placed measurements on each side. And I went to my hem, divided my by 2. I measured it, then I measured allowance left and I divided by 2, and that is how I took out my measurements this top. So after doing that, I joined my chalk quickly to the sewing machine and I joined together and I have a beautiful top. It came out so well, so well. So I'm taking my sewing machine now. I am done. I am done. The top is so nice. So don't forget to subscribe my channel. Bye.